Setting up loot chests is extremely easy and simple inside of this plugin. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to do it. So we're inside our mission currently that we created. If you haven't checked out my overview video of how to create missions and dungeons, go ahead and do that before taking a look at this video. This will just show us how to go ahead and create loot chests inside of your created missions. So the only tool you're going to need to use is the missions tool. So we're just going to go ahead and type that in /missions tool, and we're going to get that in our inventory. This guy has a bit of a description already. You can go ahead and read it if you would like, but this basically just grabs locations. So let's go ahead and create a loot chest. So we don't have to create or click on anything right now. All we have to do is go over to /dungeons loot chests. So we're just going to do /dungeons, and we can use our auto complete to go and find it. And we are brought with this menu here. So we have pagination here, which means that we can go through multiple pages of loot chests if we create more than the inventory provided here. Let's go ahead and create a loot chest right now. All we have to do is click it, and we have a loot chest that appears right here. Let's go ahead and click that. As you can see, the name was default, which we can change obviously. So let's change it for our purposes. The player will never know what name it actually is. So we're just gonna say first one. Cool, let's head back over to the loot chest. As you can see, the name has been changed. And let's go over and look at some more features we can edit. So we have our edit score value. This is basically if the player has like, if you want to add like score when they open the loot chest inside of the mission, you can add that if you want. Or if not, you can just go ahead and make it 0. But you can configure the score on loot chest open if you'd like. Min and max amounts just allow you to go ahead and see how many items will appear in the loot chest. This is a random distribution between 1 and 4. Let's make it between 2 and 6 for now. This is how many items will spawn inside the loot chest. And we have 2 types of generations of loot for this chest. We have automated and we have manual. So we have manual loot and we have automated loot. For now, we're going to be looking at the manual side of things, so we'll change this to manual generation, and we'll look at the manual loot and percentages. So in here, we can see that we have an empty menu here. We can add items, and we can return to generation. Let's go ahead and add some items to manual. So manual basically means that the player, you can go ahead and like strictly configure what's going to be spawning in the chest. So let's say we want a diamond axe to spawn, a name tag, maybe a fishing rod. Let's go over back to Dungeons Loot Chests, and let's head over to this loot chest here, and let's go over to manual loot. Let's add our items by clicking on the nether star, and let's click our items in here. We can either cancel or we can save our items. Let's save them, and as you can see, they appear right here in the manual generation now. We can configure the chance by clicking on the item, and let's go ahead and configure this to like be 50% for diamond axe. Let's make this a 10% chance for the fishing rod and 40% chance for the name tag. If we try to go over, it says that there's an error because we cannot exceed 100%. All right, perfect. We have our 3 items configured with our chances. Let's go over and we have finished here. We have a min and max amount of items here, 2 and 6. And we have our score value set. So now everything's good. This loot chest is configured. So to make a loot chest in your mission, or to set a loot chest in your mission, all you have to do is go over to a chest that's located in your mission. You're gonna right click to get your first location on your mission tool here. And once you've gotten that first location set to a chest, all you'd have to do is do /missions. Okay, and then we're gonna do create. Okay, and we're gonna do loot chest. Now we can select the loot chest that we'd like to assign to this chest. So let's go ahead and configure this guy, or select this guy for this chest. And as you can see, we set our loot chest successfully. So now if we head over to /missions, structures, and then we type in our dungeon name and our mission number, we can see that we have our loot chest structure right here. We can even teleport to it if we'd like to see where it is in our mission. And we can delete it as necessary. Alright, this loot chest is configured here. Let's go ahead and assign these guys to different loot chests. So let's create another loot chest right now. /dungeons loot chests. And we're going to create another loot chest. This one's first. Let's go make this second. Alright, the name has been changed, so we have a first and we have a second. Let's go ahead and edit the loot chest. This time we're going to make it an automated generation, and we're going to make this 1 force 5. Okay, so for automated loot, it's a little bit different. It's a bit more complicated, but it's more powerful. So we can set percentages for 4 different rarities. So rarities are basically there are 4 groups of items here that you can select, and each one will have a different rarity percentage wise. You can configure that right here. So right now we have common, rare, epic, and mythical. You can always change the name by right clicking each one of these and change the name accordingly. You can even show rarity of items that are generated with the automated system by just enabling and disabling here. So when it's enabled, the rarity name actually appears on your tools and items that spawn. So if we go into our common rarity here, we can see it's split between ingredients and gear. This ensures that ingredients, if you want them to be more common, spawn a lot more frequently than gear like armor and weapons. We can always change the percentage split here in the middle by right clicking and left clicking to change that split amount. Let's go into ingredients. In ingredients, we can add ingredients to the loot chest. So let's go ahead and get some items with us. Let's go ahead and add, since it is ingredients, let's go get some string, some diamonds, coal, and some lapis. Cool. Let's go into our second automated loot, common, ingredients. Let's go ahead and add our ingredients here, and we're going to save our items. Now it's going to ask us, hey, what's your min and max for all of these items? Defaultly it's 1 and 3. We can always go ahead and change that, so our maximum amount can be 4 and our min can be 2. Let's just say for string. So now it's changed there. Lapis can be 7 and 4, as you can see. So now when they spawn in the loot chest, they have a chance, Lapis has a chance of spawning 4 items or even 7 items. So that is the cool part about automated generation. It's very random, and that ensures that you get a lot of cool results. As for gear, we can go over to the gear tab. Let's add some gear here real quick. Alright, we've taken some gear here. Let's go into our second, our automated, our common rarity, and our gear. Let's go ahead and add some items. Let's go ahead and add our bow, our chainmail chestplate, our iron boots, and our iron helmet, and save our items. And here we go. We can go ahead and edit the enchants that may be possible to spawn with these items. So let's go ahead into our bow here. We can go and configure how many enchants we'd like it to be set to. Let's just say 1 and 2 will be the maximum amount of enchants. And let's go ahead and add some enchants. So we hit that add enchants button. Let's add our punch 2 and our infinity to our bow and hit save enchants. So now when the bow spawns, it has a chance of spawning with punch 2 or infinity 1. And we can have min and max enchants obviously as well. Now if we return to edit, this is what the bow will spawn with. It can spawn with either infinity, punch, or you can even set this to 0 and you can spawn with neither enchant, which is pretty cool. For this chainmail chestplate, let's go add an enchant. Let's go add protection 4. So now it has a chance of spawning with protection 4. Let's actually make it so that it's guaranteed to spawn with protection 4. So at minimum's 1, max is 1, it'll spawn with protection obviously. And for iron boots, let's add our enchant here. Let's add Frostwalker, save enchants. Our min enchants, let's go with 1 and minimum amount 0. So it has a 50-50 chance of spawning with the Frostwalker enchant. Alright, now that we've configured our split here, we have 70% going towards ingredients and 30% going towards gear. Let's make sure that we go ahead and make this a little bit more common for gear to spawn. So we'll do 60-40, so gear will spawn 40% of the time and ingredients will spawn 60% of the time. And we have our common rarities configured here, which is pretty cool. We can always go ahead and up the common rarity percentage chance. So now it can spawn 75% of the time, and we'll lower our rarity here for rare down to 15%, so 90%, and we'll lower this down to 5% and 5%. Okay, cool. So we've configured our common rarity. You can always do this with rare, epic, and mythical, or you can change the names obviously, but you can configure what we just did with all 4 of these. You can do different items, different enchants, different number amounts, and it's basically up to you to decide what rarity and what items go in which rarity, and you can configure the percentages as well. Once you've done that, you can go ahead over to you're basically done actually. So you've completed the second one, we completed the first one. Let's go ahead and assign it to this chest right over here. It's a bit dark, sorry about that. So what we're gonna do is just like the first time, all we have to do is right click our chest here in our mission. Our first location is set. All we're gonna have to do is missions create loot chest. We're gonna select our second one, and it is successfully set. So now if we go over to /missions, structures, 1-1, we can see that we have 2 structures selected. We can teleport to the second one, and there it is. Let's head over back to our dungeon and see if everything is working out with our loot chest now that we've configured everything. Oh, it is raining. So let's go into our missions tab here. Let's queue it up. As you can see, it starts in 17 seconds. We can always change that if we want, but I'm a little bit lazy. We can always view who's in the queue by middle clicking. Pretty cool. We have titles being sent as well. You don't have to just be looking at it. Titles will tell you when you're starting. Alright, so now that we're in the mission, it begins. Timer starts running, and if everything worked out well, this chest should be populated with some items that we've configured. And as you can see, we have name tags for days here, apparently. That's what the RAM generation apparently put it to. So if we go over to /dungeons loot chests, this was the first one that we configured. And as you can see, it has a 40% chance of spawning. So that's probably why it spawned a lot of the time. We didn't get any diamond axes though. Interesting. That was probably just luck, honestly, but yeah. So that's what happened with that one. Very interesting indeed. And we had it set to 6 items as a max, so we only got 4 there, but pretty cool still. And as you can see with this chest, nothing spawned. So that basically means that we got like, either it went to a different rarity that we didn't configure, or it just didn't land on any items that we configured yet. So that's that. And now that we finished, we can see that our score is 80 and our time 1 minute. Pretty cool. Loot chests will reset every time a mission ends, so let's go back into our mission and let's see what other loot we get from our chests. We can always just look. For this first one, we're gonna see a diamond axe and 3 more name tags. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So we got our diamond axe and name tag, and we got a coal actually, which is pretty cool. We have a rarity here, and it shows us that it was a common, obviously because we only configured the common rarity. But yeah, as you can see, it spawned in our chest pretty easily. Alright, and that's the basics of loot chests inside of the Dungeons plugin. If you guys need any help, be sure to contact me. But other than that, that is the basics. You can create as many as you want, set it up just the way you want it, and yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you in another video.